From today onwards, we shall start unit number 5 of BSc final year semester 6 of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University Amravati physics course. The title of this unit is magnetic properties of materials. Magnetic properties of materials. Okay, so first of all we shall start introduction. Introduction part. Okay, so in nature there exist so many materials which have a particular property of attracting or repelling. Okay, in nature there are materials which have a particular property of attracting or repelling other materials. Okay, so such a materials are called as magnetic materials. Such materials are called as magnetic materials. Now there exist the examples are magnetite, okay, which is nothing but the ore of iron. Magnetite or iron, for example nickel, cobalt, etc. Okay, so these are few of the examples which have this particular property of attracting or repelling particular materials, okay, or all materials. Okay, so such a materials are called as a magnetic materials. Now this was known since thousands of years ago, okay, that there exist some materials which have this particular property of attracting or repelling the other materials, but the basic science behind these particular materials, that why these materials, some of these materials act like a magnets, okay, and why other materials do not act like a magnet, what is the basic reason behind this? This reason was not understood till the recent times. Okay, these reasons were not understood till the recent times. Very recently only, when there was the evolution of the quantum mechanics, okay, then only we are able to understand what is the basic reason behind these properties of particular materials. Okay, now again we know that there exists a naturally occurring material which have these properties of attracting or repelling certain kind of material. Okay, and these materials are the magnetic materials, or we call them as a magnet, right? We can design magnet or we can fabricate magnet artificially also. How to fabricate magnet artificially? So for that you need to have one iron core. Suppose this is the iron core material, okay, or rod, cylindrical rod of iron, and you need to wind this rod with the help of copper wire. Okay, and you send current through this copper wire, and you will find that because the current is flowing through this particular wounded wire, okay, there will be the generation of magnetic field, and this rod will now act as a magnet. Here there will be the north pole and here there will be the south pole. Okay, so this particular type of magnet is called as a solenoid. Okay, so we can design different types of electromagnets which are nothing but the artificial type of magnet. Whenever the current passes through this particular type of structure, there will be the generation of the magnetic field. Okay, and magnetic field will be surrounded in the region. Okay, and we can study the what is the magnetic effect on some other particle or some other material. Okay, so this is the artificial generation of the magnet, and this is about the natural occurring magnets. Okay, now again the basic thing is that why a particular material is acting like a magnet and why other materials are not acting like a magnet. So what should be the basic reason? So in order to find out the basic reason, we have to dig the material. Okay, we have to dig the material and we have to go inside material and find out that what is the basic building block of material. Because if a particular material is there, suppose if this is a material, maybe this material may be of iron, maybe of nickel, maybe of cobalt, etc., and which is acting like a magnet. Now if this material is acting like a magnet, so whatever magnetic properties this material is having, that magnetic property must be due to the basic building blocks by which this material is made up of. And what is the basic building block of any material? The basic building block of any material is the atom. Because of the atom only there is a formation of molecule, and because the molecules arrange at some the definite positions, okay, there will be the formation of unit cells, and after repetition of unit cell in 3-dimensional we get the complete material, right? So it is the atom. Means if I am saying that a particular material is having certain kind of property, it means that that property must be arising because of the some property associated with the atom itself. So now we have to understand, we have to go into the atom and see how that magnetic field must be generated, right? So let us draw the structure of atom now. Any atom will have a centrally positively charged nucleus, okay, all the protons and neutrons will be inside the nucleus, and electrons will be revolving around the circular orbit. There may be different shapes of the orbit that we have already studied in atomic physics course, okay, that is in the semester 5 of Sant Gadgi Baba Amravati University, Amravati, right? So this is the structure of atom, and this electron is there, and it is revolving around the nucleus, or it is revolving in a fixed orbit, fixed circular orbit, say, okay. Now when electron is revolving in a circular orbit, this electron is a charged particle, okay. So when charges is in motion, there will be the formation of current, there will be the creation of current. So electron revolving in a circular orbit is equivalent to a current flowing in a circular loop, in a closed loop, because this orbit is a closed orbit. Therefore after moving electron from after moving the electron in this circular orbit, current will also flow in this circular orbit. So the moving electron is equivalent to current carrying loop. Now whenever there is a flow of current, what should be there? There should be the creation of magnetic field, there should be creation of magnetic moment, okay. So since there is a flow of current in this closed orbit, in this closed loop, there must be the generation of magnetic field, okay, there must be the generation of magnetic moment. Now how this magnetic moment will generate? So that we will see by the derivation, okay. Now suppose this is the current, this is the electron moving, so how much current will be generated? So current generated, that will be denoted by I, and I will be equal to E divided by T. E divided by T means the charge on the electron and the time period of that particular electron. Now how it can be written? E divided by T means what? 2 pi r divided by V, where V is the linear velocity of the electron. 2 pi r is nothing but the circumference of the electron. So this much length the electron has to travel by this much velocity, so that will give you the unit of time, okay. So E divided by 2 pi r divided by V. So this can be written as E, this V will be in the numerator, EV 2 pi r, E into V into 2 pi r. Right, this is the expression for the current which is generated because of the motion of the electron in a closed orbit, okay. Now the magnetic moment which is generated because of this, just now we have seen in this example, when we took the example of cylindrical rod and we wound this rod with the help of copper wire, and we were sending the current through this copper wire, okay, and there was a generation of magnetic field. Here we used to get the north pole, here we used to get the south pole, okay. Suppose this is the direction of this curled finger, if it indicates the direction of current in the loop, then thumb will indicate the direction of the north pole, that we have already studied in several lectures before this, okay. So in such a way the magnetic field will be generated. This we have seen in the case of electromagnet. So same thing is taking place in the case of electronic orbit. There is a generation of current, and because of there is a flow of current in the closed orbit, there must be the generation of magnetic moment. Magnetic moment is denoted by mu. So mu is equal to, the expression for this magnetic moment is I multiply by A, where A is the area of closed loop, okay. And if I put the values, E into V divided by 2 pi r A means what is the area of closed orbit? it is nothing but the pi r square, because this orbit is a circular, therefore its area will be pi r square. So finally what we will get? We will get this pi gets cancelled, 1 r will get cancelled, EVR divided by 2. What I will do, I will rewrite this equation as E divided by twice m. E divided by twice m. I have divided by m, so I need to multiply by m also. So m, and remaining quantities v into r. Now what is this m into v into r? M into v into r is nothing but the angular momentum of the electron. Okay, so this mu will be equal to E divided by twice m into L, where L is the angular momentum of the electron. Remember that angular momentum of the electron is a vector quantity. Angular momentum of the electron is a vector quantity. What should be the direction of angular momentum? Okay, what should be the direction of angular momentum? So if the electronic orbit is in the plane of my hand, okay, the angular momentum direction will be perpendicular to this particular plane, perpendicular to this particular plane. So if this orbit is perpendicular to this plane, then the angular momentum will lie in the plane of the board. Okay, so this will be the angular momentum, right? And again, what is the charge on the electron? Charge on the electron is minus. Okay, that is minus E, that is minus 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. Okay, so since L is a vector quantity, this mu will also be a vector quantity. This mu will also be a vector quantity, and its direction will be opposite. Its direction will be opposite to the L. So if this is the direction of L, direction of mu will be in the downward direction. Direction of mu will be in the downward direction. Means what? Here there should be the formation of N pole, north pole, and here there should be the formation of south pole. Okay, so what we have to understand, that whenever electron is moving in a circular orbit inside an atom, okay, that circular orbit is equivalent to a current, and that current means what? That circular orbit itself is equivalent to a small magnet. That circular orbit itself is equivalent to a small magnet having north pole and the south pole, right? And that magnetism exhibited by that particular small orbit is represented by a magnetic moment vector, So this is the essence. Okay, this is the essence. We have to understand that in an atom there lies so many electrons, and each electron is equivalent to a small magnet. Okay, now what happens to the rest of the electron, that we will discuss later on. Okay, just now what we have to understand, if there is an electron, it is equivalent to a magnetic moment. It will generate the magnetic moment in this particular direction. Okay, so this is happening with one of the electron. Okay, now our atom may consist of so many electrons. Okay, Again, in this particular derivation, what we have considered? We have considered that electron is revolving around the nucleus in a fixed circular orbit. Okay, now electron we have already seen in the quantum mechanics, that was introduced in the semester 5 of unit number 1. Okay, in that unit we have understood various concepts in the quantum mechanics, and in that one of the concept was that electron not only performs any orbital motion, it also performs spin motion. So in an atom, every electron performs orbital motion, and every electron also performs spin motion. Now remember that in that unit also I have mentioned that whenever I am saying that electron is spinning, it does not mean that electron is actually spinning. Okay, what we have to understand, this spin motion is purely a quantum concept. Okay, we have to understand that whenever electron is there, it will have spin quantum number associated with it. It does not mean that electron is actually spinning, but even if it is not actually spinning, it will have spin angular momentum, and similarly it will have spin magnetic quantum number also. Okay, means it will have spin magnetic moment, spin angular momentum. At the same time, it will have spin magnetic momentum also, right? So This was the case for which electron was orbiting around the nucleus. Initially we considered the orbital motion of the electron, and we found that this orbital motion of the electron is equivalent to the magnetic moment. Now onwards we will represent this magnetic moment as orbital magnetic moment. We will represent this magnetic moment as orbital magnetic moment. So there is an orbital magnetic moment associated with the electron, and its value is given by this much, right? Similarly, if the electron is having spin quantum number, means if the electron is spinning, it will also have spin magnetic moment. It will also have spin magnetic moment represented by mu s. Okay, and since the value of spin quantum number is fixed, that is plus minus 1 by 2, the spin magnetic moment will also be fixed. And it is always equal to plus minus mu b, where mu b is called as a Bohr magneton. We will not go into the derivation of this. Okay, you can understand very easily that this quantity is very, very fixed, and it is the intrinsic property of every electron. If the electron is there, because of the spin motion, it will have the magnetic moment equal to this. Okay, it will have the magnetic moment equal to this quantity. Okay, so this is the spin magnetic moment, this is the angular magnetic moment. Now this was the electron. Now this electron was having this orbital magnetic moment. This was the orbital magnetic moment. Now what I will do, yes, orbital magnetic moment will like this only. This will be mu L. It will be passing through the axis of the orbit. Okay, remember that the orbit in which the electron is moving, it will be, the magnetic orbital moment will be perpendicular to that orbit, and it will pass through the center of that particular orbit. So the direction of magnetic moment, orbital magnetic moment, will be like this. But the spin magnetic moment, okay, because the electron is spinning on its own axis, so it will be passing through that particular axis only. So there will be mu s. Okay, now the direction of this mu s will depend whether the electron is moving in anticlockwise direction or the clockwise direction, whether the electron is spinning in anticlockwise direction or the clockwise direction. So depending on the clockwise or anticlockwise motion, the direction of mu s will be different. Now till now we are only considering a single electron. In an atom, if there is one electron, this electron must have this mu L. Okay, now we can also find, since this here I have represented mu L is passing through the axis, I can also represent with another parallel vector, because both the parallel vectors are equal. Okay, equivalent. So this will be the mu L. Okay, mathematics allow me to do this, right? So I can draw this mu L passing through this particular axis also, right? So there will be the mu L, means if there is one electron in an atom, that electron will have mu L, one vector. That electron will also have mu s, that is the another vector. Now these are the two vectors representing the magnetic moment, one due to the orbital motion, another due to the spin motion. Since these two are the vectors pointing into different direction, there will be the resultant of these two vectors. Pointing into some other direction. So remember, even if there is an electron, it will have the magnetic moment due to the orbital motion, it will have the magnetic moment due to the spin motion, but the resultant of these two will be pointed in some other direction. Okay, so this will be the net effective magnetic moment of single electron, and I will represent this by the letter mu. So this is the resultant of the magnetic moment of a single electron.